It's an honor to be here today as we gather to pass the Stop Harboring Iranian Petroleum Act, or the SHIP Act, which I introduced earlier this year with my colleague from Florida, Congressman Jared Moskowitz. In the wake of the appalling terrorist attacks against Israel on October 7th, it is clear that we must work to confront Iran and its proxies in the region with a strong sanctions regime. Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and unfortunately has the coffers to back this up. Iran spends its money on terror, on developing nuclear capabilities, on taking hostages to use for bargaining purposes, and on funding the criminal IRGC. We must cut off Iran's funding and stop these illicit activities at their source. And that's where Iranian oil comes in. Iran currently engages in a massive global oil trade, exporting its blood-stained petroleum in exchange for money and influence abroad. In the past year alone, Iran has made tens of billions off of their illicit oil trade. And this August, China imported a staggering 1.5 million barrels per day. China is the largest importer of Iranian oil, and in doing so has become complicit in the nefarious acts carried out with that funding. While the U.S. already sanctions Iranian petroleum, it is absolutely critical that we expand our sanctions regime to not only target Iran, but Iran's enablers who are complicit in the nefarious acts committed with that money. The SHIP Act specifically expands these sanctions to cover foreign ports and refineries that process Iranian oil, individuals and entities that knowingly accept shipments of Iranian oil, refine Iranian oil, transport or offload Iranian oil, or otherwise transact with Iranian oil should be held accountable for their actions, for their willingness to pay for Iranian-backed terrorism. The SHIP Act has been bipartisan from the start and continues to show a united front between Republicans and Democrats to limit Iran's global influence and protect those the Iranian regime seeks to harm, such as our Jewish and Israeli friends. The SHIP Act sends a message to those who trade in Iranian oil that they'll have the United States to deal with if they continue to do so, that they can't pretend they don't know where the money is going. They can't pretend to separate Iranian oil from the very terrorism it supports. And now we're putting it in writing that they're going to be held accountable if they keep enabling Iran. And so I urge all of my colleagues to support H.R. 3774, and I reserve the balance of my time.